Hello, Tom Neilson. Where did you get your start?
I climbed out of a dumpster and this slime grabbed me and made me go to work, and it's been the story my rest of my life. Talking about this board. This is a custom board for Dave, and the process of this was that lately I've been doing all the airbrush, but I happened to be at the factory on the Sunday when the regular guy who works a full-time job was doing the airbrush, and this is the exact same airbrush that Dave had on his last board from 10 years ago. And he was here, and I said, hey, look, you can do just a red rail. You don't have to make it complicated or difficult. He said, no, I want to do one similar to the old, but I want to improve it. So I made these black lines in here. I made them slightly lighter to give it a better look. And so John, who is the guy who did the airbrush on this board, you can look at the crisp pin lines, and yeah. So it was like super fortuitous that he got this airbrush. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. This is a 6/8. It's a double wing swallowtail, and so these are called bent wings. They're not like full hard wings. So these flow water a little better. Sometimes you want one or the other. This particular one really works. Brings the tail in. So you have a wider hip up here, a double wing swallowtail. The smaller tail allows you to sink the tail and turn more aggressively in a more powerful wave. And the wider hip gets you planing through the dead sections. This board features a single concave through the middle and a double concave in this last third. So it's called a tri-concave, 3-concave. And has relatively forgiving rails, but they're just a little bit harder than what's happening now, that's vogue now, but that's important for this particular shape. And then of course really hard, crisp edges in the tail to like release the water and keep the board really going fast. Hello, it's Tom Neilson here. I'm in the factory in Rockledge, and this is the glass shop. And we have a number of different boards here in the factory that are all being glassed right now. It goes through multiple stages. There's 25 steps or more in making a surfboard. It's all very labor intensive. And it's just a really cool process. Everybody is so skilled. I'm so lucky that I have them doing my boards. This is a very high performance board with a double wing swallow and a special little rail channel. You don't see these too often, but make very traditional to extremely radical boards. Thank you. It's a double wing swallowtail. It's originally is a David Balzac design. It's a high performance longboard. Crazy designs. David Balzac was just this crazy good shaper. Most people don't know about him, and this is one of his shapes that's been reproduced by many different people in the area now, including me. Neilson, this is a longboard. So I'm well known for making good longboards, all different types. And this particular longboard is called a Dreamsicle model. Very popular, features a double stringer, 2 Darkwood stringers. US Blanks makes this for me, custom in California. Special rocker, ship it out here to me. Takes a couple months to get them. And they make really good longboards. This features a nice flowing concave that allows you to sit up on the nose, goes through the midsection, rolls into a very light V through the tail, not too excessive, an accelerating rocker curve. Everything is designed to be able to sink and turn and flow and move and just do amazing longboard. I'm Neilson here, Neilson Surfboards. I've got a new model out. It's called the Mango model. And the Mango model features a really good planing surface, the way the concave and the bottom flows. It's a round pin particular ride or shape. And I personally rode this today in the surf, and it rides so good. I just love this model. If you want a really good, fun all-around board, the Mango model is the ticket. Hey everyone, Tom Neilson here. I'm famous for making good longboards, but I've made thousands and thousands of shortboards. This one is a new model that is really good, and it features a tri-concave bottom. It's a rounded squash tail. It's got a little more planing area than the normal shortboard. Not excessively though, so a really purist, really good shortboarder is going to love this board. So if you want a really great shortboard and a longboard, give me a call. Thank you.
Hey Tom, where did you go to high school, and did you surf in high school?
Yeah, I went to high school in Jacksonville, Florida, Terry Parker High School. And luckily all my neighbors surfed, and so I actually shaped my very first surfboard when I was 16, and I ended up selling it to my next door neighbor 2 doors down. And that got me going, got me started, and that's how I got it going.
How did that new board turn out, and how much did it cost?
Well, I think it was like a 6/8. This is 1972, and I think it cost me about $150 to get a glass. I probably bought the blank for about $50, so probably $250 is probably what I sold it for. And that was a while ago, so that would be like $700, $800 now probably.
Did that stoke the fire to make more boards?
It must have, But then I would go on surf trips and I'd need to build boards for my surf trips, and so that helped get me going. Plus I studied with Frank Perales in Gainesville when I was going to school there. He was from Hawaii and he gave me a lot of good pointers when I shaped a board with him.
When did you move to Brevard? And when did you get your first job in the surfboard industry?
So I moved to Brevard in 1973, and I got my first really big break. I shaped a neighbor a surfboard in Cocoa Beach. He brought it to Quiet Flight. At Leisure saw that board, told, bring your neighbor down here, I want to talk to him. He immediately gave me a job, took me under his wing, taught me a bunch of pointers, and kicked me loose. And then 4,000 boards later, I ended up leaving Quiet Flight. Shaped, I don't know, tons of boards for them. Really good experience, great company, and really grateful to Jim Leisure.
Quiet Flight, what did you do next?
So when I left Quiet Flight, I was actually a massage therapist, and I opened my own clinic in Cocoa Beach, just up the street from Quiet Flight, and started doing more massage therapy full-time, and then surfboards very much part-time, just with people that I knew casually and otherwise. I'd made 4,000 boards for Quiet Flight. I was making about 20 a week. They wanted me to go to 30 a week. I just decided I didn't want to do that anymore. They replaced me with 3 different guys. So off they went, and off I went.
So Tom, explain the Creative Visions brand that you had, and what year, what decade was that?
Okay, so in the late 80s, I started doing my own label, Creative Visions, and Courtney Davis, who was a student of mine in the massage therapy field, she actually drew this mandala, and I used that along with the creative writing of it to have a logo for that particular surfboard logo. And that was great. I still use that logo occasionally. You'll see it has a little dolphin and yin and yang in the middle of it. I had people just tell me I need to just use my name because people are looking for your name, so I've mostly shifted to that, the Neilson name, for that reason. And I've been making surfboards ever since. I even tried to retire one time, and I just couldn't do it.
What year did you start the creative designs?
Creative Vision started in the late 80s.
Late 80s?
Yeah, late 80s.
And then you semi-retired at what year?
I semi-retired, gosh, probably about 3 years ago now. People still ask me, are you retired or are you still making boards?
I remember when you posted on secondlight.com forum, I'm retired, get your orders in now.
Yeah, I have people mad at me because they're like, you were just, that was a scam, you know? And it's pretty hilarious. Like, no, I actually really did want to retire, and then I ended up keep going, and I don't know that I can ever say I'm going to retire.
Can you answer the question about what kind of safety protocols you run at this surfboard shop?
Yeah. So basically we're working with fiberglass and epoxy. Epoxy is more safer as far as combustible. Acetone is also another factor made in making polyester boards and epoxy boards. Acetone is highly volatile. Most factories that have problems in the surfboard industry, it's because of acetone. Acetone, therefore, is stored outside of the main warehouse in a small shed that's safe for it to be there, and it won't start a fire that spreads to other areas. If it does ignite, which it's not going to because we're careful. And there's protocols. The protocols to make sure it stays safe.
Do you have any advice to people who want to get into this surfboard manufacturing business?
Don't go surfing. It's really bad for you. Now, the advice is just, get a blank from US Blanks, buy the blank, watch videos online. You can get someone to help you maybe shape your first board. That's always really good. That's what I did. I watched my shaper shape like 40 boards before I shaped my very first board. I had them glass it for me because I wanted it to come out good. And so those are things I would recommend. Shape your first board, have someone else professionally glass it. If you want to be a glasser, then pick that up as you go along later.
I understand you also own a sailboat and sail the 7 seas. Can you talk about that?
Well, I haven't sailed all 7 yet, but I do, probably for the last 30 years I've had a sailboat. I started when I was really young, probably when I was maybe 12 or 13 in Cape Cod. Learned how to sail there on a small sailfish type boat. But mostly the last 30 years I've been going to the Bahamas. I've probably been there 40 or so times. Really love sailing, really love the Bahamas, really love going to different islands. Really good people on the smaller islands especially.
Hey Tom, what's your advice to an aging surfer to stay in the water and keep the stoke alive?
Well, now that I am an aging surfer, what I call a silverback, the secret that I found that's really helped me the most was getting massage therapy and doing yoga. Yoga really helped turn my life around and really opened up all these doors to creating and eating better and just thinking about everything in life as far as longevity and health and vitality. And so it doesn't really, you can be old and decrepit, or you can be old and really active and healthy. And there's a choice there, and that choice is made when you're relatively young, but keep doing it. That's the secret. Yoga every day or every other day, eating good food, good friends, and enjoying life for the most part. Stay alive.